Hello everyone, welcome to our tutorial on micro-soldering. In this video, we'll be discussing the process of micro-soldering, which is a smaller scale version of the traditional soldering process used on larger electronic components. First, let's talk about what micro-soldering is. It's a method of attaching small electronic components such as LEDs, capacitors, and resistors to a circuit board using a fine-tipped soldering iron. This technique is commonly used in the creation of small-scale electronic gadgets and projects. Now, let's go through the steps involved in micro-soldering. 1. Preparation. Start by cleaning the surface of the circuit board and the components you want to solder. You can use solder paste or a soldering solution for this step. 2. Warm up the components. Before you start soldering, it's important to warm up the components and the soldering iron. This can be done by applying a small amount of power to the soldering iron and allowing it to heat up. 3. Soldering. Now, it's time to solder the components to the circuit board. Start by applying a small amount of solder to the tip of the soldering iron and then gently press it onto the component. Hold the component in place and continue to apply solder until the entire surface of the component is covered. Be sure to pay attention to the heat sink and the leads of the component. 4. Cooling. Once the solder has cooled, you can remove the component from the circuit board. Use tweezers to gently lift it and let the excess solder flow off. 5. Inspection. Check the solder joint to ensure that it's secure and that there are no gaps between the component and the circuit board. 6. Cool the soldering iron and store. Once you're finished with your project, make sure to cool down the soldering iron and store it safely away from potential accidents. And that's it. With these steps, you'll be well on your way to creating beautiful and functional small-scale electronic projects using micro-soldering. Thanks for watching, and happy soldering!